Hello, Miramar. I'm Commissioner Alexandra Davis, and welcome to Commission Corner. This is something new that we're bringing to the residents to be more transparent on what we're doing throughout the community. Of course, as always, you can reach me by phone, email, or social media, and that will be at the bottom of your screen. So let's get into what we've got for today's session. With me today, I have Khalib Thompson. How are you, Khalib?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, and welcome to Commission Corner.
Thank you for having me.
So would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and explain how you are involved in Caribbean Heritage Month?
Certainly. So my name is Khalib Thompson. I am actually a multi-purpose kind of person, as you know, a Swiss Army knife of things. So I am the publisher of Island Origins magazine, which hopefully we'll have you in at some point in time. I'm also the executive director of a company, a nonprofit called Island Space, which is the only Caribbean heritage museum in the world as far as we know.
Wow.
And we are located in Plantation, not yet in Miramar, but we are at the Broward Mall in Plantation, where we kind of bring together all of the history and the culture and the traditions of the entire Caribbean region. So inside of that museum, we have an archive that tells our history from the indigenous people to plantation life and slavery and emancipation and the governments and the food and the music and the sports and the festivals, all the things that make us Caribbean. You can see the history of that inside of the museum. You can also see an art gallery where for Caribbean American Heritage Month, we have a group of artists in there. I think it's Lines and Colors of the Caribbean, it's called. And there's a Haitian curator has pulled together various artists from the Caribbean region to be in that exhibition for Caribbean American Heritage Month. We'll start that on June 5th, or whichever day, the date of Thursday of this week, and it goes to the end of the month. But we also have a parallel event going on at History Fort Lauderdale, because they've been a partner of myself and the co-founder, David Muir. We co-founded the museum together, and we have an exhibition going on at History Fort Lauderdale as well, where we've curated 4 Caribbean artists. So we have David Muir, who's a photographer, showing scenes from around Santiago de Cuba. We have a young man by the name of Charles Smart, who has done these big, beautiful images of Jamaican heroes, and he's modernized them. We have Mark Cameron, who I'm sure you're very familiar with, who has some of the legends of reggae and Jamaican life. And then we have an artist by the name of Paul Blackwood, who shows all these beautiful Jamaican landscapes in his work as well.
Beautiful.
So we're keeping all of that kind of visual, beautiful things going. Yes,
well, we'd love to have you at our cultural theater showing some of that artwork. We have an Anson art area that we have in the theater, and we'd love to have you showcase some of that artwork maybe next year.
We would love to program there, but I know I'm going to be back in August because we're doing something with Basil Watson.
Absolutely, and
Together,
we'll get into that closer to the time.
Yes.
But you mentioned Island Space, so is there a cost to go in and view the museum?
If you are an adult, it's $10. If you're a child, it's $5. Of course, your parents are going to pay for you, but yes, it's a low cost, but you know, for the value of the rich history that you're learning inside of the space and the beautiful artwork that you're supporting, yes, there is that small cost. We encourage families to come. Anyone with teenagers or young people who have not yet seen and learned about their heritage in that way is certainly invited. And we have genuine artifacts in there. I know Miramar is a very Caribbean-centric community, and so we also invite, you know, whether you're from Haiti or from Cuba or from Jamaica or wherever, we have a collection of artifacts that we're continuing to grow. So for example, if you have grandma's doily at home somewhere, or, you know, anything that speaks to the history of where you're from. Because we have things in there from the Tainos in Jamaica.
Nice.
People don't recognize that they still exist, but there are still Tainos in Jamaica. The Maroons,
Absolutely.
we have things from the old plantations. We still need more of that kind of colonial era rum barrels or what have you. We have Air Jamaica planes. You know, Air Jamaica has been defunct for many years. So we have little model planes in there and things from our culinary history from the various countries. And everybody uses Slightly similar things, but they're a little bit different and personalized. Our major event at the museum, we're styling it as the global launch of the museum, right? It's called Magic at the Museum. It is a virtual / in-person event, and this is happening on June 27th. It was going to be at the beginning of the month. We've pushed it back, but what we're doing is a grand storytelling of the Caribbean story. So the same story we tell inside of the museum, we actually have Tainos who have given us a live presentation. We have, when we're talking about religion, we have Rastas, we have people in Voodoo, we have people in Orisha. We're not supposed to say Santeria.
Oh,
it's
that's
Orisha. Yes,
okay.
From Cuba, right? We have Prime Minister P.J. Patterson talking about the history of our politics and government. We have Marcia Griffiths, Wayne Armand from Chalice. We have Inner Circle. We have Kevin Little. Some of these people are performing a rendition of Redemption Song when we get into emancipation and that kind of thing. We have Mecca Grimo from Haiti portraying Toussaint Louverture.
In fact, we just had him at our event here in Miramar, the Haitian Cultural Day. Yes,
he's amazing. So people like him. We have a poet from Jamaica portraying Nanny of the Maroons. So it's that kind of thing where we are calling on people who have the names and the subject matter expertise to help us tell that. So all of our chefs, Chef Irie and Chef Danny from the Dominican Republic and Chef Winston Williams from the U.S. Virgin Islands and Chef Tia from Haiti are sitting together and talking about the food of the region.
So for Khalid, that event is, again, we always like to tell people if it's free or is there a cost, and go over the date and the cost to get into there and where it's going to take place.
Wonderful, thank you. It is the 27th of June. We ask you to visit islandspacefl.org. That's the website for the nonprofit. Right there, you can just register for free. It's free to watch if you're virtual. It's $100 if you're going to come in person to watch with us on site at the museum. It is a fundraiser, so we'll be asking people for donations. But it is the 27th of June. Free for everybody, but you must register on the website islandspacefl.org.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, we've had a whole host of information from Khalid, and we're so glad you were able to visit with us here on Commission Corner.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, hello and welcome to Commission Corner.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
So I'd like for you both to introduce yourselves to our community. We can start with yourself.
My name is Tara Rump. I'm the department coordinator for the Department of Economic and Business Development here at the City of Miramar.
Wonderful.
And they do call me Paul Jaroge. I'm the business coordinator for the same department.
Lovely. So we're here today to talk a little bit about business in Miramar, and we love business owners.
Yes.
And so we started a series called BizFit, and we started it back in 2019. And of course, 2020 was one of those years where we really were kind of under a lot of pressure with COVID. Now, 2021, we're actually trying to reinvent that. And we've started off with our virtual series. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, like Commissioner said, BizFit originated 2 years ago in our local area, historic Miramar. Since then, of course, the recent climate with the pandemic, we're taking BizFit virtually. And BizFit basically is the initiative that you created, of course, Commissioner Davis, to provide tools and resources to help our small businesses to grow and thrive within the community. So with this particular virtual platform, we look to reach a broader audience in our neighboring cities as well as our counties to offer as much assistance and provide the tools that are necessary to help businesses be successful in this time.
Perfect. And so for Paul, I know you've been instrumental in getting the vendor and the kind of virtual experience that folks will have. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Definitely. I'm super excited for this event. This is like, I don't know if there's any other city doing what we're doing. We're basically bringing networking into a platform, we're bringing the export into a platform, and we're bringing that engagement between our government and businesses and breaking that barrier that most businesses have with the government. Like, how do I do permitting? Do I have to wait 6 hours to talk to someone? No, come to this event, have a one-on-one with the permitting department, and they can help you there and then.
Absolutely.
And we have amazing agencies. SCORE is one of the
Yes,
agencies.
Broward SCORE.
Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade
schools.
Public Schools. They have a new certification program for contractors.
Oh, nice.
We have them participating at this particular event. So we have a lot of premier organizations and agencies all under one umbrella to assist small businesses. So it's
That's
like a
wonderful.
one-stop shop.
Absolutely. And the good thing about it, I know it's going to go on for a few hours, well, so that folks who open their business early and they stay later, they can come to the later portion, or if they open late, they can come to the earlier portion. What exact dates are we looking at? Do you have them on the top of your head?
Yes, I do. It's going to be over the course of 3 months from June, July, and August. It's going to be the second Tuesday of each month. Those dates being June the 8th, July 13th, and August 10th. We have a one-on-one session from 1 to 6 p.m., and then we have the main event from 6 to 8 p.m.
Wonderful. So any parting words?
Yes, one thing that I'll tell you about this platform, it's so easy to use. You can use your cell phone, you can use a tablet, and throughout the day between 1 and 6, you can jump in and out, and that's the beauty of it. It doesn't restrict you to being inside that place the whole entire time. You can actually do your business, come back in, do your business, and come back in. And then the 6 to 8 is the main event. I believe Sandy McDonald is going to be the one presenting, so it's going to be amazing for the first one. Yeah.
Lovely. And the good thing, this is all free of cost, correct?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely free. And just like Paul touched on, it's virtual. So you have the leisure to either in your car, whether you're on, well, we don't want you driving, but if you're sitting during lunch in your car, you can jump on at your desk. It's virtual, so anyone has, well, there's access to anyone through our link, which is, I think it's bit.ly/BizFit, and that's spelled BIZFIT 2021.
Well, thank you both so very much, and your expertise in Miramar and our city makes us great.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Dr. Cassandra Davis to Commission Corner. So, Dr. Davis, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How
And
are
welcome
you?
to Commission Corner. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So, we'd like for you to tell us a little bit about your organization, A Light for Girls.
Thank you for that. Thank you, first of all, of course, for this invitation. A Light for Girls is an organization that I founded 4 or 5 years ago, which basically talks about how to support the caretakers of girls. We know we often have programs for girls. We have mentoring programs, summer camps, but what I want to do is mainly focus on the people that take care of girls. So the parents, the mentors, the daycare operators, because we know that children, of course, need support, but parenting, unfortunately, is the only job that you can have without any qualifications, right? So we have a lot of people out here who are parents and are like, yeah, I want to do a great job, but 100% of parents don't know what they don't know. So our job is to support those parents by providing awareness, giving them information about what they can do to better support their children.
Wonderful. And it's so great to partner with you and your organization. We have an event coming up. And I know you spoke to me about your organization, and we're trying to make sure that folks in our schools get the information to join. It's a virtual event. We just want to know a little bit about how you market this. Because, I mean, you approached me, and I think it's a great idea. We have so many mothers that sometimes are at a loss, especially for our girls. How do you get into communities?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So the first thing that we do is, one, talk to persons like yourself. We know that you are interested in making sure that the community has resources, right? So as soon as I saw your name, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to her. And then I also talk to hospitals, because as I was just sharing with the staff, it's not just about when they're 12 and 13 and starting to act differently. It's about when they're in the womb. It's about the examples that you set for them when they're 3, 4, 2 years old, so that you know how they're going to behave, or you have an idea of how they should behave in the future. I tell parents all the time, it's about principles. It's not just about, don't do this in my house. You won't do this under my roof. Because it's like, well, when they leave your house, do you want them to do that? No, you want to teach them the principle. So I talk a lot to organizations that have mentoring, like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, organizations that focus primarily on girls, and just making sure that, you know what, we're a resource. And we are kind of the gap between that parent and therapy. We're like, you know what, just talk to us first, because sometimes what you think you're hearing is not what your daughter is actually saying. So let us be the translator. and that's how we mostly provide services.
Lovely. And I know our event is during Caribbean Heritage Month. Are you Caribbean?
I am. I'm of Haitian descent. I am.
There you go. We just had a nice Haitian Heritage
Yes.
cultural event
Yes.
recently, and it was really well attended. But how do you think it's going to help Caribbean and immigrant parents in particular?
My people, my people. So this is especially somebody like me who, while I grew up in the United States, I was born in Boston. My household was Haiti. Right? So it didn't matter that I went to school at Highland Oaks. It didn't matter that I was at this school where there's primarily American students. In my household, it was Haiti. So I had those same rules. And growing up, that was difficult to manage, knowing what to do in school and knowing what to do in home. For example, at school, when you don't look at the teacher, you are being disrespectful. It is disrespectful to not look a teacher in the eye. At home, it is disrespectful to look at your parent in the eye because your parent looks at that as like, I'm the adult, I'm the authority, why are you looking me in my eye? So I know that that was difficult for me to navigate. And with culturally responsive learning, culturally responsive teaching, it is important for our Caribbean parents to understand that our children are facing a lot. They don't necessarily know what you want and how to manage that when they get out. You know, being the only child that could never go to sleepovers, that was a problem for me. I was like, how come I can't go to my friend's house? My friends are spending the night. Why can't I do that? Culturally speaking, that's just not what we do. We don't know the people. We don't know where they've been. We don't know what their kitchen looks like. We barely want you to eat there. Those are things that we have to have conversations about because they are issues for our children who don't understand the difference.
Absolutely.
So our teaching is absolutely specifically for Caribbean people also because I have that lens. You know, I have those glasses of the perspective of being the Haitian child that grew up in America and had to make sure I balanced both.
Lovely. And so the event that we have, we're going to have that information for our viewers up. It is in the middle of June. The date is kind
June
of
17th.
Okay, June 17th. And it's going to be virtual,
Yes.
Facebook Live on Miramar, and it's from 6 to 8.
Correct.
And we'll also have another speaker, Laverne Deer, who will also present on that evening.
Absolutely.
So it was great having you, Dr. Davis. We're looking forward to a wonderful event, and we hope we can do some other collaboration.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on Commission Corner.
You're welcome.
So hello, David.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me on Commission Corner. So David contacted my office to let me know that he started a new club, a special club in the city of Miramar, thanks to a very special capital improvement project I have. So David, please tell us a little bit more about this club.
Well, Ms. Davis, I first want to thank you for everything you've done for the city. But it's about Paul Central, the dog park there at Miramar Regional. As you know, there's not many facilities in Florida and Miramar for us to take our dogs.
Absolutely.
And when we found out that there was a Dog Central, I showed up there, and before you know it, there's more and more dogs coming out and more families. And we've grown to like over 30 dogs that were out there, and we all kind of coordinate with each other. And having that facility there provides us with not only a place to have our dogs roam and have fun, but also a place for community. And,
Absolutely.
And it's been very beneficial for all of us. Like Miramar residents are there because we're all Miramar residents.
Yes. And so I know you mentioned that you have a Facebook page.
Yes.
What's the name of that so we can find you?
Yes, what we did is I created, like my wife says, I go overboard. So we created the Miramar Kennel Club. And you could ask for an invitation. It used to be an open Facebook page. Now we ask for an invitation where we actually showed the dogs that were there. Because it's funny, we know our dogs' names of everybody's there, but I can't tell you I know the dog owners' names. The dog part, I like to say it's a good representation of Miramar.
Lovely.
Because there's so many different breeds, big, small,
in between.
Poodles. I have a Dogo Argentino, for example. We have pit bulls there. And they all get along in there so well. And also the families.
Lovely.
That we actually get together outside of the park. We make plans on the weekends to meet each other at certain locations as our organization, as the Miramar Kennel Club.
Lovely. Well, I'm coming to visit you all very soon. I'm going to make sure I tell you what day. But we're so happy that this dog park is serving its purpose. We're going to make some other improvements to the park that's coming
Please.
up, more shaded areas and so on and so forth. And we want that park to thrive. And thank you for your interest.
Thank you very much. And again, it's good as a long-term Miramar resident. I've been a Miramar resident for approximately 20 years.
Nice.
It is always great to see when your community dollars, the dollars you put into the community in taxes, is being used like this dog park shows. I've experienced using the facilities of Miramar in different aspects. My sons play baseball,
Nice.
but having that park there is really,
Helpful.
it's really great.
Lovely, lovely. Well, thank you so much, David. We
Thank
hope
you.
to have you back, maybe some members of the club at some
Definitely.
future date.
If we could bring our dogs.
Hey, that would be a good one. I have my little dog too, Benson.
What kind of dog do you have?
Yeah, he's a Dachshund.
A Dachshund?
Dachshund, yeah.
Okay.
And so he's 11 years old now. He went to the park once when it first opened.
Okay.
But, I think it's a great addition to all of our facilities we have in Miramar. I'm so
Yes.
glad that you're enjoying it.
It is. I want to tell people also, even if you don't have a dog,
Come out.
come out. Because if you're even thinking about having a dog and you want to see A, what kind of dog you might want, B, how your kids might interact with the dog,
That's true.
it's a great place to go. I don't want people to think that this is only for the limited people who have dogs. Because we actually are seeing now people come up to the fence and look at the dogs.
Ah, nice.
Because we have that many different type of breeds. We have a lot of exotic breeds over there. We
Oh,
have
wow.
Spanish Mastiff, Great Pyrenees. My dog is a Dogo Argentino. It's the second most rarest dog in the United States.
Wow.
We have a lot of Golden Doodles, Labradors, Pit Bulls, Mutts, what we call
Of
Mutts.
course, yes.
But it's a great place if you don't have a dog
To see if you would like to get one and what
see,
type.
to see the temperament of the different dogs.
Absolutely.
You have Akitas, you have, and it's amazing when you see them
Ah,
because they actually know each other.
lovely.
My-
Well, what
my
I'd love
dog.
for you to do is to tell us if there's any improvements that you'd like to see.
I definitely
we'll
do.
definitely-
We have some ideas.
Oh,
We want a statue of me, for example. No,
you go.
shade is one of the big things.
okay, perfect.
Not
We
only
got that.
shades for us,
But for the dogs.
for the dogs.
Okay.
Like my dog, a Dogo Argentino, it's a white dog that it's very susceptible to sunburns. So I have to put lotion on her.
Ah, wow.
But and also water. You know how you have the water
Water,
fountains?
yes.
One in every area.
Okay.
It would be very helpful. And
And that's for the adults, not for the dogs.
no, for the dogs.
Oh, for the dogs.
For the
We'll make
dogs.
sure.
We actually bring coolers of water for a community.
Okay.
We like to be more involved.
Oh,
And I would talk to you about it one day, getting some sponsors maybe to pay for some of these
Oh,
improvements.
absolutely. Well, you have my email.
Yes, I do.
So if you
I
could
have-
just shoot me a quick email. So I know
Yes.
we're doing improvements. We're doing improvements to the shade.
Yes.
But I want to get that the water fountains in there for the dog as well.
Yes.
And anything else that you can think
Yes,
of.
and thank your staff. You
I
guys
will.
replied to my email. You guys need help. Email her staff. They called. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, my staff does work hard.
It was great. And Ms. David, again, I supported you the first time. I'm really happy to have you as our commissioner.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you always.
Thank you.
And on that note, I'd like to thank Mr. Dominguez for taking the time to hang with us today on Commission Corner. You can catch Mr. Dominguez and all of his furry friends at the Paw Central Dog Park at 6 p.m. with the Miramar Kennel Club. Thank you so much again for watching us here on Commission Corner. See you around next time. Again, putting you first keeps us first.